Real love showed up at just 23 years old. He knew time was running out. Terminal cancer had dimmed his future, but not his dream. He wanted to marry the woman he loved, to stand beside her and make a promise that even illness could not erase. For him, it wasn't about grand gestures or lavish celebrations. It was about one wish, one moment, one vow fulfilled before the clock ran out. He was a garbage worker from England, a man whose life was defined not by fame or fortune, but by hard work, early mornings, and the camaraderie of colleagues who became family. His dream was simple: to marry his partner and share that day with the people who mattered most. What he didn't expect was how deeply his work family would show up for him, transforming his wedding into something unforgettable on the day of the ceremony. Dozens of garbage trucks lined the road. Their flashing lights created a convoy of honor, a procession that spoke louder than words. As he arrived, surrounded by the roar of engines and the men who had stood by him daily, he broke down in tears. These weren't just colleagues, they were brothers. They had come not only to witness his vows, but to remind him that he was loved, respected, and cherished. This wasn't a fairy tale wedding. There were no castles, no ballrooms, no glittering chandeliers. Instead, there was something far more powerful: raw emotion, real loyalty, and a community bound together by shared labor and shared humanity. The laughter, the tears, the quiet goodbyes woven into that day created a memory that transcended tradition. It was a wedding defined not by wealth but by dignity, love, and solidarity. In a world that often overlooks the working class, this moment was a reminder of what truly matters. Dignity isn't about how much money you have or the size of your celebration. It's about how people show up when it matters most. These men, who spent their days hauling refuse and keeping streets clean, understood something profound: love is measured not in luxury but in loyalty. Their convoy of trucks was more than a spectacle. It was a symbol of respect, a declaration that their brother's life and love deserved to be honored. Stories like this cut through the noise of modern life. They remind us that beneath the headlines and the hustle, there are moments of pure humanity. A young man facing the end of his life chose to celebrate love. His colleagues chose to celebrate him. Together, they created a day that was both heartbreaking and beautiful, a testament to the strength of community and the resilience of the human spirit. The symbolism of those trucks cannot be overstated. They represented the daily grind, the unglamorous work that keeps society functioning by lining the road. They transformed that grind into glory. They turned tools of labor into instruments of honor. For one day, the ordinary became extraordinary, and the working class stood tall as guardians of dignity and love. What makes this story resonate is its universality. We all long for connection, for people who will stand by us when life grows dark. We all hope that when our time comes, we will not face it alone. This young man's wedding was proof that even in the harshest circumstances, love can shine. It showed that real love is not about perfection or permanence. It is about presence, being there, showing up, standing together. As the day unfolded, there was laughter and joy, but also the unspoken awareness of goodbye. Everyone knew the groom's time was short. Yet instead of sorrow dominating the occasion, love took center stage. The wedding became a celebration not only of marriage but of life itself. It was a reminder that even when days are numbered, they can still be filled with meaning in the end. This story is not just about one man or one wedding. It is about the power of community, the dignity of the working class, and the truth that love is strongest when it is shared. Real love showed up that day in the flashing lights of garbage trucks, in the tears of colleagues, in the vows of a young man determined to live fully even as his life was slipping away. Science, wealth, and status often dominate our definitions of success, But this wedding redefined success in the simplest terms: love, loyalty, and presence. It proved that when people show up for each other, they create moments that outlast pain, illness, and even death. Real love showed up, and in doing so, it gave a young man his dream, his dignity, and his goodbye.